Hi, this is Steffy and welcome back to another episode of the Financial Fox. Today on the show I have Evan Luthra, Forbes 30 Under 30 entrepreneur and leading blockchain expert. He has been building and investing in fast-growing technology products since he was 13, building 30 plus apps and selling his first company when he was 17. He is an angel investor in many crypto projects, so we are gonna learn more how we invest. But before we go into the interview, remember that any information, anything that we share on the show is not financial advice and is only for informational purposes. So anytime you make an investment, you need to do your own research. You need to skill up because that's the only way that you can make informed decision. Okay, let's get into the show. Hi, Evan. Nice to have you on the show.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Okay, listen, let's start with a short introduction about yourself because many people know who you are, many don't. So how have you become a successful investor in crypto?
So I'm an entrepreneur angel investor, started pretty early in the technology space, was one of the first few hundred people to develop apps for the iPhone. This was when I was 13 years old. I built dozens of other apps for the next few years. Really enjoyed doing that and had my first exit at 17. So after selling my first company, I made a few $1 million and wanted to invest that back into technology because that's what I understood best. So started investing in Web2 startups, did over 100 plus equity investments in different Web2 startups in the technology space mostly because my focus was always using technology to disrupt existing industries. So always going into space and seeing how technology is going to that existing industry and how it's making it more efficient, more better. So one thing led to another. I did some really great investments. The fastest growing coffee shop in the world, Release Cafe, 1,000 locations in 40 countries. Ease.com was my first investment. Uber for marijuana, the fastest growing company in the US in one of the early years. Did some really good ones. And then I came across Bitcoin first time in 2014. And that's when I bought some Bitcoin originally. I'd already gained a few 100,000 followers then because I had sold my company. I was invited to give a lot of speeches. I did a TV show. So Coinbase was saying, giving $5 to refer new users to Coinbase. So I decided to promote Coinbase, and that's how I came across Bitcoin first time in 2014. And each of those $5 that the users got for downloading Coinbase is worth over $500 now. That just tells the exponential growth that Bitcoin has had. So didn't really look back from there. In 2016, my own company that I invested in, the Web2 companies, they were asking me, hey, can you help us with blockchain? And that's when I started looking deep more into the blockchain space. And that's when I really understood, hey, this is really the future, you know? This is the best invention since the internet. And then I started putting more of my focus towards the blockchain and crypto space. I traveled to 25 countries, speaking at events, over 200 events live in person, talking about our experiences and what we're seeing and where we see the industry going, pushing the movement forward, getting more people to adopt it. Started writing articles for all the top tier media, Forbes, Entrepreneur, Cointelegraph, Cryptonomics, Hacker Noon, talking also just mostly about crypto. And over the last few years, last 3 to 4 years, I've invested in over 400 crypto companies, mostly going into all kinds of space, but mostly focused on the metaverse, NFTs, and blockchain, and play to earn. And it's been really exciting. And yeah, that's a quick bio of how I started and where I am. I advise a few select companies, about a dozen companies a year, where I work more deeply than just out of investment, and where we help take them to market every year, delivering 50 to 100x return for the investors, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars in volume on day one. So yeah.
Wow, we are talking big numbers. You are so young. How old are you now?
I turned 28 this year.
Okay, that's fantastic. So usually, you know, when young people have money, the parents advise them to invest them in a more careful way. You know, maybe they have a trust or they put them aside, but they don't like go so risky like you did, right? So I I want to kind of understand that. Is that the reason why you have been able to be successful? Is because you have made a risky investment? And if that is the reason, when you say about risky investment, what were your criteria to go so extreme rather than, put some money in a pension or, I mean, not a pension, but you know what I mean, kind of like a safe bond.
So I think it's very important to have the right support around you, and also everybody's risk profile is very different, right? You need to understand what is your risk appetite and what you can take. Obviously, digital asset investment is not for everybody, right? It's not for everyone. Me, fortunately, I'm in a position in life where I don't have too many responsibilities. I have no wife, I have no kids. The only people I really have to care about is my parents. They are self-sufficient. The only person I really have to care about is my dog. That's my only responsibility. So it's like I am able to take high risk because I'm not worried about going broke, right? I'm not worried about having to start from zero, even though today I know that it's almost very low chance that ever happens because of the amount of companies I'm invested in. So many companies have to go broke before I go broke. But at the same time, I'm not scared, and that's what allows me to take high risks. But obviously, this is not going to be the same when I get married and I have kids. I would have to keep them as a priority, right? So I have to start planning for the future, which I don't do at this point. So it's like you have to understand your risk, and you can only take this level of risk early on in your life. You can't do that once you're more mature, your mindset changes, right? So I think, yes, there is definitely that value add that is there. And I mean, I've had this success early on because I've been able to take these high risk investments. I've had tremendous amounts of, at least relatively speaking, to money in a pretty short amount of time, is because of these companies, right? Like I said, I don't even count returns from 50% or lower, right? I count in X's, not in percentages. So like, how many X's do you make on this deal? So it's very different, but at the same time, it also comes with the risk. So you have to be willing to take that risk. And more information the more educated you're about the space. I have access to a lot of information because I'm in so many communities, so many networks. The risk gets lower and lower versus somebody would be starting out right now.
Okay, first of all, which breed is your dog?
I have a Shih Tzu Inu. It has a page, Crypto for Crypto. You can follow it. It actually teaches you about crypto. So yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, I'm a dog lover, so I've got a little Frenchie. But yeah, anyway, so when you make those investments, you probably have invested in a lot of like seeds investment and very, very early stage project. What thing do you look when you make investment?
So for me, I mean, I am always going on I'm always tuned in to what are the trends, right? What is happening in the space? Even though the technology industry grows exponentially and there is so much innovation that happens every day in the space, especially in the blockchain space, where it's the smartest people in the world working in that industry. So I try to look at what's on the trend and I try to catch those trends. And I need to be early. I need to be before it actually becomes a trend for me to win. Like you rightly said, I invest mostly very early stage, seed round, pre-seed round, before the companies even go to the public, right? So most of my investments are actually like pre-IPO in the public market. I invest pre-IPO in the crypto markets. I do private sales before the company goes public. And most of the time, I am paying a very preferential rate. So even when the market crashes, prices go under the public price, it's still above what I paid because I was already paying more than 50% lower than what the public was paying. So that allows me to have, again, like I said, it's all about access, right? This access allows me to have access to deals which keep me more above the water than the normal public would. But at the same time, it has high risk because a lot of these companies I'm investing in, they have no product right now. They're just getting started, or they have a product and they have no users, and they have to prove the adoption. But fortunately in crypto, unlike Web 2, like I have over 100 investments in the Web 2 space, and many of them have never been realized, even though they have done very high multiples because there's no market. In crypto, you could have a product that launches and does solid multiples, and you get a certain amount of tokens unlocked that you can already exit and get liquidity to invest in new deals, and then the company still fails. But you already made your money because of the liquidity that's available in the public markets.
So follow the trends, and how important are the people behind the project?
It's very important. It is very important. So again, like because I invest early stage, most of the companies I invest in, they end up pivoting they do pivot to some extent, where they don't end up with the same vision or white paper they started the project with or when I invested in them. So it's like the team is actually one of the most important facts. And the more early stage you invest, the more important it is. If a company's already found product market fit, then you could bring in, serious CEO level executives with MBA degrees, but they're not the ones who are going to build the company or find that product market fit for you. So it also matters a lot on what stage you're investing at.
Where invest right now? Where should we look at?
I mean, right now, the biggest trend and really the biggest impact is going to come from AI. Right? Everybody's talking about it, and it is actually very, very impactful. If anybody listening to this has not tried ChatGPT, go to AI.com and try it for 10 minutes. It'll blow your mind. Like, it's literally like, it can do so many things that you would never think were possible, and it does it all for you in real time and very fast and very efficient. I have friends, a friend over yesterday, he's a lawyer, and he's like, I'm getting ChatGPT to write all my, and audit all my, like, paperwork. So it's like, so the point is, like, I think that's the biggest trend right now. But at the same time, all of technology industry, right? There is even if you are somebody in a certain industry that has not had the technological adoption, and you can find that, and everything's going to get disrupted by technology. So you can find that, and you can look for opportunities in that space. So I would say, like, find where there are opportunities and go after them. But for now, I would say AI is the biggest opportunity out there.
Okay, Evan, it was such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for coming on the show. And anybody that would like to follow you, where should they go? Where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram or on Telegram at Evan Luthra. There's a Twitter, Evan Luthra, so that's where I am mostly active on. And I talk about the deals I invest in and what companies I'm following, so people are welcome to share the knowledge.